Good evening, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alista Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gacha Episode 31, the continuation of How to Make Kudo Jealous. So previously on How to Make Kudo Jealous, Seina gets frozen, Hotarou is half frozen, and Kudo is getting verbal abuse from weird sister number 1, who's been played by a 9-year-old, and she is weak and helpless. So once again, Kudo is casting blame upon herself due to what's going on right now with Seina being frozen and Hotarou being half frozen, and of course with weird sister number 1, who's been played by a 9-year-old, she's keeping up with the verbal abuse. And Hotarou, tells Kudo, like, hey, I'm okay, don't worry about me, just get up and fight. So she does gets up and fight, only to fall down yet again because of weird sister number 1, who's been played by a 9-year-old. She tells Kudo that, hey, your friend is dead. So your friend is dead and it's all your fault. Which causes Kudo to fall down again, and she is telling everybody that she is weak, and I didn't save her, everything is my fault, that sort of thing. And then out of nowhere, here comes Minato Sensei, and approaches the frozen body and tells Kudo that, hey, there's still time, she is still alive, and tells her that, hey, fight like I know you can. And with that, reminder, because we got a bit of flashbacks, Kudo regains her strength and confidence, and she transforms into her Moon Cerberus form, and she gets to fight the monster for a little bit, and then she uses the Sun Chemi to unfreeze the frozen ones, and together with Hotarou, of course, they destroy the malgam and capture the card. So Minato afterwards congratulates Kudo for a job well done and tells the kids that, hey, yes, the master is gone, but the enemy has gotten more aggressive lately because of his defeat, so it's best for you guys to be extra prepared and just be ready for anything, because again, the enemy is like a rat. It's like a rat that is trapped to a corner, and nothing is more dangerous than a rat that gets trapped in a corner, because this rat has nothing to lose. With weird sister number 1, who is right now currently the leader, is hell-bent on revenge. So she is very aggressive because of the writers, her father is trapped, or in this case presumed dead, and she's out for blood, seriously. So we move on from that warning to Professor Kyoka and weird sister number 2. So they're outside having dinner, and number 2 is not feeling up to eating. And so, long story short, she wants to know, what's going on with that gate, because according to Spanner, he saw something in that gate, the eyes, the demon that I like to call the Dorado demon. And of course, number 2 is, she doesn't know what that monster was, but she assumes that those eyes belongs to the Abyssalis King. So it's not going to be named the Dorado demon, which sucks. So at least we know we have a name, the Abyssalis King. And we move to the next scene where, speaking of weird sister number 1, she gets this visit from the master, air quotes, because remember, the master is trapped in the, on the other side of the gate. And this is like a Hamlet situation where we see the master as a ghost telling his daughter, hey, use that cube, use my power to avenge me. So we have a mini scene of Hamlet here, and the master disappears, and lo and behold, a new malgam approaches, and the malgam tells her, like, hey, it's time to avenge, the master, and we have an evil, angry look upon Weird Sister number 1. So we move on to the next scene, to the school that never was, inside the drama club. And apparently Seina is sick, and there's no one to fill in for Juliet. And so everybody, for the most part, looked directly towards Kudo that, hey, Seina's not here, we need a Juliet, so can you be the one? And of course, Kudo says, yes, I'm willing to do it. And we see Miku and Kudo doing rehearsals together. And then all of a sudden, Seina, in her epic bursting into the scene, she gets pissed off and assumes that Kudo is after her role. She's like, wow, so while I'm gone, you're trying to steal my role away from me, huh? Is that it? And of course, Hotarou's like, this is not, it's not what you think. She just memorized the lines for me because I suck at memorizing lines. So she's not here to steal your role. But of course, Seina assumes that, okay, all of you guys are liars, and she just runs off. Like, she doesn't want to hear it. And of course, Hotarou tails her, like, wait, come back, which leaves Kudo in sad mode again. And so the scene continues on to the rooftop, and so we have Hotarou and Seina there, and this is where I kind of stopped midway of the scene, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So Seina is there, Hotarou is there, and Hotarou starts with, look, I'm happy that you have returned after so many years, but when he sees her treat Kudo in a certain way, it hurts him. And that made me stop the show, because I'm like, wait a minute, Hotarou, wait a minute. And guys, you can answer in the comments below. Aside from Weird Sister number 1, who's been constantly abusing her, verbally, like, I never once seen Seina, be like abusive, not physically, verbally towards Kudo before. I never once seen Seina treat Kudo badly before. Sure, we have seen her like have this jealousy look, and of course her bursting into the scene and just like, hey, I'm willing to play Juliet. And of course, the restaurant thing, but I never once seen her like misbehaving towards Kudo, like treating her hostilely at all. And then we had the encounter at the park, where again I never seen Seina treat Kudo badly. Because remember, at the park scene, Seina asked, like, hey, are you and Hotarou are a thing? Because I noticed you're matching rings, and I assume you guys are together or dating. And Kudo says no. And so that's when like Senna's like, oh, okay, so I have a chance. Thank you for clearing things up. And that was it until, she and Kudo got attacked. And then number one was spilling, hey, she told me to tell you that you're in the way. And which again got to Senna's ears that, hey, so you lied to me. So you do have feelings for him. You're just jealous of me and our past relationship. So that line to me was like, Hotaru, like, really? Like, I'm defending Senna here because I'm like, I never once seen her treat Kudo so hostile before. So that line to me was like, nah. No, Hotaru, no. But apparently, according to Hotaru, it's like, oh, the way you treat Kudo, it hurts me. It hurts my heart. I'm like, what? Okay, all right. So that happened. And then we move on to Hotaru's I got a gotcha speech, where he pretty much tells her that, hey, I have a gotcha dream. Well, I have a gotcha that I want to achieve, but I know I can't achieve it alone, so I need my friends to help me out. But for right now, I'm helping Miku's gotcha. So please, can we just all just get along and come join us? And I'm like, wait a minute. Senna didn't say I quit. So I don't understand why Hotaru says, like, can you please join us? Like, did she quit? I'm just saying. But, I mean, I understand that Hotaru's like, can we just get along? Like, we're just helping a friend right now, and we can't be hostile towards each other because it's not going to work. He's being reasonable here, and all the while you see Kudo she showed up, and she's just listening to the whole thing. And then Senna tells Hotaru, like, hey, you have not changed since we were kids, and we get a flashback of them being kids. And she tells Hotaru that, hey, your dreams helped me get through the tough times, because according to Seina, she had, problems with her family. She wanted to get away, and Hotaru came in and just like, hey, let me tell you about my dreams, and that helped her. And explains that after her move, his words helped her like move on. And also she openly confesses to both of them, since Kudo was there too, that, hey, I am jealous of Kudo. And she apologizes. And ends with, look, I want to see your gotcha. Wants to see the dream. So it sounds like even towards the end that Kudo and Senna were jealous of one of the other because of the relationship they had towards Hotaru. Senna is jealous of Kudo for the fact that, she and Hotaru have this current relationship, something that Senna wish he has, while Kudo is jealous of her because of the past they shared together. Makes sense, right? It's funny how it went from that to, Senna being like, hey, I like Hotaru, I want to be with him. So unless I got the message wrong, that it was all about friendship rather than I see Hotaru as a man, then okay. But at least it makes sense either way. It makes sense. So we move on to the malgam and Weird Sister number 1, because as Seina, Hotaru, and Kudo were pretty much throwing everything on the table, their feelings and whatnot, here comes the malgam with Weird Sister number 1, They invade the school that never was, and they encounter Spanner, but uh, he gets trapped in this hell illusion, and where Kyoka was an enemy, and gets beaten up. Okay, before I move on, guys, let's be honest. Like Spanner, ever since he became a Kamen Rider, he's been getting a lot of losses than wins lately. Of course, he finally achieved the impossible where he finally defeated Dread, because it's been his kryptonite since forever. But I don't know what the writer's creative is doing to poor Spanner, because my God, there's more L's for this man than wins. Is this just me, or you're seeing it too? Because my God, Spanner, he's been losing a lot lately. But I don't know. But Spanner gets trapped into the hell dimension again, because you have Kudo and Hotarou coming in, and Spanner tries to warn them about the squid ink from hell, but he gets dragged into his own personal hell. And then the kids transform, they attack for a few moments, and then you have Seina being like, oh my God, Kudo and Hotarou are Kamen Riders. And then of course it's their turn to be sent to their own personal hell, where Kudo is facing the evil version of Hotarou, and Hotarou is facing the evil version of Kudo. So they are stuck and they don't know what to do, and it took Kudo to be like, hey, attack me, I have an idea. And of course Hotarou's like, you want me to attack you? And of course Kudo says, yes, you have to trust me on this one. So of course, with hesitation, Hotarou's like, okay. So he does a rider kick on her, which breaks the illusion. They're back into the real world, and then you see Kudo just like fall on her knees, and it looked like, oh, Hotarou killed her. Hotarou killed Kudo. Oh my God. And then everybody, well, mostly Weird Sister number 1 was like, finally, this girl is dead. But then it turned out to be all an illusion. She faked her own death due to the power of her own solar eclipse. And everybody was like, what the hell? And of course, number 1 is like, oh, bitch. She really hates her. And so Hotarou and Kudo play hot potato with the ex-Gachaberg, and then a few rider kicks later, they destroy the malgam, they capture the card, leaving poor Weird Sister number 1 being like, ugh, I hate you guys, and just leaves. And all the while, Seina is just being an audience, being like, oh my God, I'm watching Romeo and Juliet at real time. Like, she sees point blank she sees how their bond together is like unbeatable, you can say. And that's what she said. So after the battle, Seina congratulates them. It's amazing. And also seeing your bond, it's unbeatable. And Kudo comes in like, you're unbeatable yourself, and I admit that I was jealous of you. Again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, apparently the girls were jealous of one another due to the current relationship with Hotarou, with Kudo having a current relationship, something that Seina wished she had, and then Kudo being jealous of Seina for the past they share. So she openly admits that she was jealous of her. And she says she will work on it. And then, lo and behold, Minato Sensei, at the nick of time, and does the only thing that he's good for. He does the thing, wiping her memory. I think, is it isn't it her second time or the first time? But either way, he comes in and he uses his batteried ring of power to erase her memories. And we immediately go to the last couple of scenes where you get to see the kids perform Romeo and Juliet. You see Kudo playing Juliet, and we get this flashback where Seina decided to give the role to Kudo because she wants to see her perform as Juliet, and she accepts. And then at the end of the play, we get, I think I forgot who was telling this, but we get this thing where the club is saved. Instead of getting 5 members, they got 15. So the club is saved. The show was a success. Everything is hunky-dory. And then we move on to, the alchemy school that only has like 4 people as students, and the only teacher in the world that I deem that is useless. You see Spanner fixing his wrench sword. And then here comes Weird Sister number 2, and of course Spanner is spitting his viper tongue, and he's like, "Look, get out of here. I don't acknowledge you as one of us, and I'm not gonna be there to save you. So you got lucky that time, but nah, that's it. I'm done." And number 2 was like, there's no need for that because I can fight by myself. I'm an expert fighter. And she gets her own copy of the wrench sword that Spanner has. And Spanner was shocked, like, how in the hell did you get that? And then here comes Minato Sensei with Kyoka. And Kyoka explained, like, I made a copy of your sword because we need all the help we can get now, because according to Minato Sensei, look, I believe the threat is becoming more vicious than ever, bloodthirsty, and we need to be prepared for the worst, which makes sense. I understand that you do not trust her, so anything that happens to her is on me. And of course, number 2 ends it with, look, I'm looking forward with our partnership, puppy. And Spanner is like, he does not like it at all. He didn't say anything at all, but he looked like he was prepared to go into this fight with her, because you see him with this stance and the sword. It's like, is he gonna fight her? I understand he's very hostile. He has every reason to be, but eventually into the future episodes, he's gonna have a liking towards her, or the other way around. So we move on from that reveal that Weird Sister number 2 is gonna become a Kamen Rider soon, and Spanner is hell knowing. We get to the final scene where we get to see the gate of, the door to Kingdom Hearts, air quotes, the door of darkness. And apparently the Abyssalis King has sent down his mouth, if you will. And that's the end of the episode, guys. It was okay. I just didn't like how Hotarou was like, oh, the way you treat Kudo, it hurts me. I'm like, okay, Hotarou, like, I don't remember your old friend treating Kudo like crap. So I don't understand where he got that from. I understand where Seina is coming from, because, after this whole Kudo thing, I'm jealous of you, and coming back seeing that Kudo is rehearsing, and it's just like, wait a minute, am I being replaced here? Like, what's going on? And she just assumed, and she runs off, and just, I don't know, it's just, again, it just goes to show how Hotarou is clueless. He is dumb. And, like, that line to me was like, ugh. Like, I would have preferred Hotarou be like, look, I don't understand the hostility between you two, but this is not the right time for this, okay? We need to get along because we're helping a friend here. If this doesn't work out, then the club will be gone. Like, can you please just put your personal feelings aside and just work together and do this thing? Instead of, oh, well, Seina, you're hurting Kudo's feelings and it hurts me. Okay. Okay. And then, Kudo, acknowledge that she is jealous of her, of Seina, but, it's not because, of her seen as a rival. It's more of, like, I'm jealous of your past. And I'm not going to repeat that because I already repeated so many times there. And then, Kudo, being like, Kudo needs to stop with, feeling all weak and helpless every single time Weird Sister number 1 gives her the business. Because every single time when Weird Sister number 1 comes in and tells her, hey, this is your fault. This is your fault. You killed her. It's your fault. It's just she always turns into a ball. And I'm hoping that, hey, like, you need to have thin skin when it comes towards her, because you can't be this in the middle of a fight. Mind you, with Seina telling her, I hate you, and all that stuff, it really messed her mind up, that her head wasn't on straight, which causes her to get beaten easily, but also, got Hotarou half frozen, and, with Seina being frozen, it wasn't her fault to begin with, but it's just Kudo needs to learn that not everything is her fault. It's not her doing the harm. It's number 1, it's the enemy. So I just don't understand why she is accepting this verbal abuse from Weird Sister number 1 about things that are not even true. So she needs to learn how to develop a thick skin and say, like, your words means nothing to me anymore. And that's pretty much it on that. I think. Also, I like the idea of Weird Sister number 2 becoming a Kamen Rider soon. It's just that I hope that it's not going to be a copy of the suit or a repainted suit. I wish that it's going to be a totally different design, but I'm not I'm not counting on Toei to make a brand new outfit for number 2. It's going to be another copy and a repainted one, which sucks. I'm not going to go through that rant about suits, but it's just like if the writers were planning on turning number 2 and giving her the powers of a Kamen Rider, you could at least have the blueprints of her Kamen Rider form, not a copy of Spanner's old form or current form. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know, Toei with the way they treat, girl Kamen Riders. It's just like, come on, man. Come on. Other than that, I mean, it looks like that the big bad for this arc is the Abyssalis King. Because he just sent his mouth of Sauron, if you will, into the world now. So it's not going to be the Alchemy Association, but maybe they will get involved. I don't know. But it looks like, for right now, that the Abyssalis King is going to be the big bad. And I already have this feeling that both the Master and the King will come out from the gate together. And I get this feeling that the the master will have his own Kamen Rider form and fuse with him to become, the big bad. The same way that happened with X8 when the final boss fused with this final monster, and, lo and behold, they have that. So I have the feeling that that's going to happen, but that's just a theory. And of course, Fuga is nowhere to be found, and Mama-san is going out shopping on the other side of town. And yeah, I think that's it. That's all I have. One last thing. Apparently, the people who worked on Gacha, apparently they shot the whole Romeo and Juliet play. So they're setting it up as a special. Me personally, I don't think I'm gonna see it. I may be curious, but I've seen my handful of Romeo and Juliet so much that I can't handle it anymore. So maybe curiosity will get to me and watch the special. But I'm thinking, wait a minute, how can 5 people perform Romeo and Juliet? Because, you have, the Alliance, of course, Kaijiki, Miku, but I'm where are the other people? Because there should be more people, but I will check it out if it interests me, but I'm just letting you guys know that apparently the people who worked on Gacha specifically for this episode, they shot the whole play up and they turned it into a special. So I'll be on the lookout. And tell you guys all about it if it interests you. Anyways, I'm rambling. So thank you so much for listening. And let me know, have you watched this episode? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? And if I miss anything, even though I have my notes in front of me, I tend to miss a couple of things here and there. So let me know everything in the comments below. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!